We all may remember the massive hype before Titanfall debuted. Outlets like IGN were touting it as the COD killer and the next evolution of Twitch-based first-person shooting. Then all the review scores came out and had us believing that Titanfall was truly the next big thing. Titanfall was so big that Call of Duty even copied Titanfall in some aspects with Advanced Warfare. However, here we are a year and a half later and I cannot seem to talk to anyone about Titanfall without them seeming disappointed. But why is that? I mean, we all see that Call of Duty isn't disappointed in the ideas of Titanfall. Look at Black Ops 3, it's almost a straight copy. But was Titanfall really a disappointment or just overhyped? I believe it was the latter. I believe it was overhyped to the point that it could not possibly live up to the expectations placed by all the fans and all the media outlets. I recall the internet going crazy, which of course is a shocker, about Titanfall pre-release. There are even forum posts from mid-2013 about how Titanfall was going to blow everyone away. That was at least 6 months before the Titan fell on us. I must admit, I didn't play it upon launch. I was far too burnt out by COD to really want to play in our Twitch-based shooter, plus I only owned a PS4 at the time. I ended up grabbing the game on PC when it went on sale for about $10. Yep, a year later it was $10 with all the map packs. What a steal. I saw that it was a surefire buy. Why not? $10 isn't much of a risk at all. It turns out that EA is practically giving it away. Well, they almost are, as you can play the full game for free for 2 days on Origin. As I played through the tutorial in my first few matches, I was simply blown away. I usually am average at Call of Duty, but on Titanfall, I was more than that. Jumping around, destroying other Titans on foot, mowing down enemies was a blast. Having a 2.0 KD, that's kill death ratio for all you who don't know what I'm talking about, against other online players was coming naturally to me. That was when I realized the game's major flaws. They reared their ugly head only a few hours in. Now everyone plays attrition, the main mode that is essentially team deathmatch. That is issue number one, is there are other game modes, but you would never know that with how few people are on all the other modes. The only other mode that is really populated at all is Frontier Defense. Attrition is fun and all, but variety is the spice of life. Issue number two was that to make up for matches only being 6 on 6, being 6 humans on 6 other humans, which I believe they need up to 12 on 12 with Titanfall 2, is Respawn filling in the map with Grunts and Spectres. Grunts and Spectres are basically bots, which would be fine if killing the computer-controlled characters didn't do anything more than help you get your next Titan faster. Instead, they actually aid you in the points column, which means potentially you can just run around and only kill Grunts the whole game. You can win the match by just defeating the computer. That would be fine if this is all in split screen mode when it was just you and a friend playing, except there is no split screen mode. There's not even offline play. There's no campaign. Nintendo may have spoiled me and all, but when did it become okay to sell a game at $60 with no ability to play offline and lacking a campaign? That means whenever the servers are shut down, then the game is dead forever. That'd be fine if everyone bought it for $10 like me, or even 20, but for $60? That is a ripoff, plain and simple. I have left out 2 issues on purpose. They seem to be everyone's main gripe with the game when I talk to them. That is the lack of any real progression and the smart pistol. Let's tackle these, shall we? The lack of progression is my main issue above all else. After paying only $10 for everything, then I'm okay with the game one day being completely gone. However, there's no real incentive to play once a new game comes out other than Titanfall. There's really no reason to ever return to Titanfall. There seems to be nothing really to unlock, and the selection of weapons and the such that you have are quite limited as it is. This was never remedied in any future map pack. In fact, by map pack 3, the community had already given up on Titanfall. That was before Call of Duty Advanced Warfare even came out. Less than a year later, people still play Halo 3 online to this day, and that is 8 years old. Lastly, the smart pistol is the cheapest weapon I've ever seen. If you've been watching any of the gameplay that's in this video, you've seen me use the smart pistol. It essentially just locks onto a bunch of enemies, and you press the R button once, they're all dead, automatically. No questions about it. It basically does all the work for you. I believe this would have been fine if you could only use it up to a certain level, like level 5 or maybe even 10. But nope, I see people with maxed out levels using it. It is cheap and much worse than the noob tube from Modern Warfare 2. Now I know these are a lot of complaints, but I don't view Titanfall as a failure by any means. Overhyped is the better word. It sold 4.42 million copies. Yeah, and it wasn't even on the PS4. I bet you didn't know that came on the Xbox 360. It was meant to be the Xbox One system seller in the early days, and I recall seeing poor saps at GameStop being suckered into buying the Xbox One just for that game. Not to say the Xbox One was a bad purchase, but I would rather buy it for like the Master Chief Collection or Sunset Overdrive. Overall, Titanfall is absolutely a blast. It really is a ton of fun, and watching this match I used here really shows how great it really is. If the game had not launched with so much hype behind it, then it would be reflected on in a positive manner. Unfortunately, it suffered the same fate as Watch Dogs. It's a pretty good game that was just overhyped to the point of absurdity. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this editorial on Titanfall. Do any of you still play it? Do any of you buy into the massive hype at launch? Let me know. Also, feel free to leave suggestions in the comments for a future editorial. And as always, God bless you geeks.